Hello everyone, how's it going? If you're new here, I'm Samantha and I go by Thrifty on a Dime on all my social media platforms. I talk all things reselling, whether it be in person as well as online. You got positivity, motivation. I sell on sites like Poshmark, Mercari, and Facebook Marketplace. I dabble a little bit in eBay as well as Amazon. Not an expert on those, but if you have any questions, just let me know. So make sure if that sounds like something that you could learn from or you're interested in, you do hit that subscribe as well as little bell icon. It'll alert you whenever I put out new content. So today's video is a long one in the making, and I'm so excited to bring it to you guys. I think it's been actually a few years since I have made a Mercari how to Mercari kind of video. Mercari is actually one that in the beginning I didn't like. And then I slowly liked it a little better over the years. And now I feel like they are a little bit more for the seller and not just for the buyer. Because back in the day, I feel like they were really always just siding with the buyers. And then, you kind of got screwed out of money a lot of the time. But I will say one thing is I do not list higher end items still on Mercari, just because it is very risky. Although now they have an authentication process, so maybe I'll start doing that again. I'm just worried about all the scammers and how Mercari's help is listing something that's higher end. I feel like you're better off doing it on Poshmark, definitely not on Facebook Marketplace either, because they are super new and their customer support is very cruddy, so it's going to take them a little bit before I'll list stuff like that over there too. But yeah, I just want to share some tips and tricks on Mercari with you guys. I know a lot of people don't list over there because either A, they're like, I don't know what sells, I don't know how to sell, their shipping prices are high and stuff like that. So I just want to give you some pointers, because if you're not listing on Mercari, I really do feel like you're kind of missing out a little bit, especially if you don't use eBay. So a little background about me. I've been a reseller for over 6 years now. I'm also a full-time nurse for 6 years. So I have a lot on my plate. I have someone who does my listings for me. And what I mean by that is they take the pictures, they do the whole description, the measurements, and bagging it for me. And then I have drafts at home on List Perfectly. If you're not familiar with List Perfectly, and its extension that you use that you can cross list to multiple platforms. So basically she enters all the drafts into List Perfectly first, and then I will just get on my computer when I'm at home sitting down or anything, and I will cross list on sites like Poshmark, Mercari, and Facebook. I always list everything first on Poshmark, as that is my main, and then I slowly start to list on Mercari, and then once it's listed on Mercari, I now list on Facebook Marketplace. Before, what I was doing is every time I'd get a load from her, I would literally the same night cross list all 3 sites. But I find it's kind of nice to let things sit for a couple of days on Poshmark alone, just because it might sell over there first, and then I list it to Mercari. But I'm also starting to see now that it's a little bit harder with all the updates on Poshmark, that I may just start listing on Mercari first, then do Poshmark, then do Facebook Marketplace. Mouthful, I know. But yeah, so that's the background about how I do my listings currently. And then they all get bagged in a little Ziploc bag, not an actual Ziploc bag. I buy them for really cheap because I buy them like by the 500 quantity or 1,000 quantity, and they look like a Ziploc bag, but I like to keep all my stuff in that, especially because I do have my inventory at a storage unit. It's like a 10 by 30 storage unit. I put it in a box with a number. I type in the number on an Excel sheet. It tells me what box it's in. I go to the storage unit and I pull it and ship it. That keeps it protected from smells. It keeps it protected from, mold, water, all of that. And it just gives it a little extra, safety net in case something goes wrong at the storage unit, or if you have animals. I mean, I have cats and dogs. A dog, I should say, not dogs. And although it's not being stored here, it's just nice so that I know that once it's pictured and put in that bag, it's going to be as pictured, and there's no chance of, anything getting on it if it's in something sealed. So yeah, let me start with the tips for you guys on Mercari. I've made a ton on Mercari, and I like that their fees are low. They did just start incorporating a small, what is it called? Seller fee on top of the percentage that they do take. But it's really not that much still compared to Poshmark. And I really like how you can put smart pricing on Mercari, which if you're not familiar with smart pricing, basically when you list, it gives you the option to lower your item at the rate that they lower it. I think it's like every day it drops a percentage or something like that. And you can set your bottom floor price. So I know a lot of people are like, well, I don't like how fast it goes. Me either. So what you do is set your bottom price at the, not lowest you'll take, but for example, if you have a $20 item, start it at $25 and then let it drop to, and then put the bottom price like $20 or $18. And then you can go in and actually lower it by hitting the other button. I think it's promote. Like when you hit the promote button, you can promote it to everyone and drop the price a little bit lower like that. Just make sure you set the bottom floor price at something that you're going to want it at within a few days, because the smart pricing does end, I think, in like 3 or 4 days. So that is pretty fast. The gradual drop is pretty quickly, but I like to utilize that because it's going to show customers, hey, there's an 8% drop or whatever. And that's kind of enticing to know that something's on sale and the buyer really is like, ooh, okay, it's on sale, I'll buy it, I do pretty well using their smart pricing, smart pricing drop price. That was a tongueful. Also, drop the price, or promote, I should say, 10 items a day. And so what I like to do to make this feature work the best is go to like older items and something that's got quite a few views, or something that I just really want to move. I'll promote it to everyone and it'll drop it a certain percentage, whatever you choose, or just the minimum, which I think is like 10%, something like that. So I like to utilize that on the 10 items that I can a day. And then also, if you really want to move items, something that I've been doing is sending offers to the people who have liked it. But I like to go to the older items and then I'll just send like a low offer. Say this just happened. I had a pair of Keen shoes listed for $25. They have not sold. So last night I sent an offer of $15 and the person pays for shipping. And it literally sold within 20 minutes. I was like, oh, this is awesome. And I sent out 10 more of those low offers, just like, okay, I really want to push some of these bigger items as far as shoes and stuff that I can't fit in the bag so I can get it out of my inventory. I ended up selling another pair of shoes and 1 pair of pants by just doing this. And do you know, I have sent the bulk offers on Poshmark to 300 people before at a low offer and have not sold even 1 item. It was like crickets. I'm like, seriously? Like, I feel like they should jump on it. But the difference is, I feel like on Poshmark, if you don't send an offer to liker immediately, the buyer becomes uninterested or they're just not on the app and stuff like that. So I feel like their bulk offer feature is not really worth it unless you have something that is on trend or on style. So it doesn't really work that well for me over on Poshmark, but I'm finding that it's really working for me on Mercari. The only thing that stinks about the offer to likers is A, you can't send another offer out for 3 days, and B, it can't be the same price. So if somebody else new has liked your item, you have to actually send the offer lower so that it notifies everyone of their lower price. So if that makes any sense. So for example, 3 people have liked your item. You send an offer of 15 off of, on a $20 item. If somebody new likes it, you have to wait 3 days. And then you have to send an offer of at least, I think, $13 or $12 or $13, which kind of stinks because on Poshmark, you can send the same low offer as many times as you want, like the $15 offer as many times as you want, and it doesn't matter how often. So if somebody new likes it, I can send that offer yet again. And I think it automatically does that, honestly. But I don't know. I think that's the feature that should be updated for Mercari, especially because I do think that it will help a lot for sales if you were able to send the same offer to the new likers of the same offer that you just sent to the people who've already liked it. I know that was like really confusing, but hopefully you get it. So I do utilize the 3 hashtags that you are allowed. Like I was saying, the lady who does the listings for me actually puts the hashtags in List Perfectly, so they go ahead and just transfer it to all the sites. So I actually don't have to type those up personally. But I don't know. I'm indifferent with hashtags. I do think it gives you more exposure, but I do think also if it's something that's like plain Jane or an everyday item that's not on trend, I don't think the hashtags are really going to matter. Unless it's like something Y2K or, you know, vintage. Those are really good tags to use if it applies to your item. But other than that, you know, I don't know, like Nike and stuff, I don't really feel like that gives you a leg up unless it's a rare or special Nike item. And that's just me personally. But again, I still utilize the 3 hashtags as it's already in my List Perfectly description. And I do believe that it does give you some exposure for certain items. So another thing is keywords are very important when searching on Mercari. So make sure that you are putting keywords in your title. And what I like to do is copy and paste the title and put it in the description, which again, the lady who does listings for me, that's what I've told her I want it set up as. And the reason being, it helps the SEO search on Google, because when Google polls, if somebody's looking for something specific and you have it in the title and description, that's going to give it more of a search engine to search for, if that makes sense. So it's not only wrote once, but it's wrote twice. And if it's very descriptive, the person who's actually looking for, you know, for example, scalped edge dress and a certain brand, well, you have that all in your title, then you have it all in your description. Google's going to see that, and it's going to be up there kind of in ranks a little bit higher. So I do think your keywords are important in your title as well as description. And it's not going to hurt you to copy and paste it in both places either, so why not? And then what I do is I follow that with sizing, measurements and stuff like that, the whole meat of it. And in the bottom of that, it says in good use condition, item that's new, or something like that to kind of give it a little bit of a description of how the quality is still. Because if it is used, I mean, people want to know, is it super worn? Is it in fair condition or what? And I know that Mercari, you still have to select that, like what kind of condition it is. But again, I don't feel like the way that they describe how the condition is very descriptive. And I want it to know, like, if it's in good use, I want it in very good use condition or in like new use condition and stuff like that to just kind of give the buyer a little bit more to go off of. I do not fill out the collar section. There are so many people that see collars differently than you do. There's so many people that are colorblind and stuff like that. Now, if they ask you what color it resembles, you can give them kind of an idea, but in order for them not to win a item not as described case, I don't put colors because, again, I may see it as red, whereas somebody might see it as burgundy or royal red or bright red, and you're like, seriously? I have found on Poshmark that they can win cases like that. I mean, especially if you chose like pink and it's coral pink. You don't have coral pink on the color selection, so I just chose pink. Well, they can win a case because it's not pink, it's coral pink. So I hope that made a little bit of sense. I personally do not fill out color section. I just don't do it. And what else can I help share with you guys? The weight of your shipping. Please, please, please be accurate. You guys, you may get away with it for 1 or 2 packages, but I will tell you that I shipped something first class and I know it weighed under a pound. But for some odd reason, it weighed 1 ounce over a pound. Do you know I was charged $6.01 by Mercari for that 1 ounce? Not kidding. Not kidding. So my cheap item that I just sold ended up being, I barely made any money, if I made any money at all, because I was charged $6.01 for being 1 ounce over. So I would be very careful and cautious of the shipping rates. If you can, try to just put 3 pounds, and anything under 3 pounds now is shipped for $7.99 using FedEx, and you can actually ship that, because it's Smart Post, you can actually ship that with your USPS packages, not UPS, USPS packages. And so you can ship that with your first class items. You can ship that with your Poshmark priority items. So that is something that is good to know. They literally just updated that price just a few days ago. So I really hope this video was helpful to you guys. If you have any more questions about Mercari, I would love to answer it for you. I have been on Mercari for years now. And again, I love utilizing Mercari to resell. I don't list high items, so anything over 100, I'm probably not going to list on Mercari, just because I am worried about the support and I am worried about the scammers out there. But yeah, if you have any more questions about Mercari, I'd love to make another video for you guys. I will show you a step-by-step tutorial, how I list on there if you want, anything like that. So just let me know in the comment section below, and be sure that you are subscribed and you hit that bell to be alerted when my new content is released. So have an amazing day, everybody. Thank you so much for watching.